everyone. This here is a General Electric 8-track stereo FM AM music system. This is model 3-5532B. This was a gift from my mother for Christmas. It mostly works. We got an FM stereo, FM, and AM. This is going to be pretty basic, just going to be a disassembly, a cleaning, probably some polishing is going to be in order, and then gluing the head holder back together, and that really should be it for this one, and maybe an alignment. It might need an alignment after doing that, so we'll see. Anyway, let's get into it. Yeah, this thing's pretty dirty, as you can see. So this is the inside of the unit. Looks like it's from the 2nd of September 1980. There's the power supply there. That's all the amplification and radio circuitry. I'm also trying to see if there's any improvement that can be made to this selector switch, because this feels really tough. I got the mechanism flipped over here, started cleaning off the head. I'm going to do what I do on a lot of these. I'm going to take the cap stand and flywheel assembly out and give the cap stand a really good cleaning. But this has the Tanashin mechanism with the CRACK-O-MATIC head holder.
CRACK-O-MATIC.
So we're going to have to fix that. And I'll probably do that the same way I've done other ones, with some zip ties and super glue. Alrighty, this should have rectified the problem. Just put some glue on it and use zip ties to support the crack from both sides. Here's the cap stand before cleaning. Here's the cap stand after cleaning. Alrighty, so I'm de-wiring it right now from mains. And this is interesting. I've never had to do this before, but there was this little panel over this. This whatever fire resistant stuff. I forget what you call this. It's like a, it's almost like an HDF, but I don't think it's wood. It's something else, but whatever. And it had these pins that were melted to the plastic, so I had to take my soldering iron, just gently melt it until it would pop off. And then it had these things. I've dealt with these before. They're on ceiling fans and stuff. I really don't care for them. I'm probably going to replace them with very small wire nuts if I have some. If I can do that, I would prefer to do that. And unfortunately, I lost a little length of wire on these two, but that's not too bad. I should be able to cut it back and get the length I need. I just got to remove the transformer, which is like the rectifier, and then I got to remove this plug, and I'm gonna have to desolder these wires. I think I'll leave these wires in, and then it'll be fully apart. The front came apart relatively easily. I'm not sure if I got it apart correctly, and it may go in differently because I had to flex the top piece a bit. Oh, and yeah, there was one casualty when taking it apart. This plastic doesn't seem too brittle, and I know I'm saying that with that glaring you right in the face there, but I think that was because that screw had been over-tightened from the factory. And, I mean, none of the other stuff, well, there's a little crack there. I think it might have been too tight. Who knows? It didn't break, though, so not that top piece anyway, so if I have to flex it to get back in, so be it. It won't cause much of a problem. Alright, this already looks a lot better than it did before, but I'd like to see if I can polish up the acrylic a little bit. I'm also going to try and scrape off some of this. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it was before. It got rid of a lot of those divots around the center here. I think it's almost like there was a canister or something pushed up against it, and it was in a car ride and just kind of left some scratches there, but they're pretty much gone. It's not perfect, like I said. Not too worried about around there because that's going to get covered up by the knob, but that's definitely much better than what it was. So when I was taking the volume, tone, and balance knobs off, the little aluminum bezels popped off, which actually made it easier to clean, and I would have rather them have done it now versus when I was carrying it around somewhere and me lose them. I'm going to try this craft bond stuff. I mean, this is basically like the, glue stick, but I guess it's supposed to be, according to the back, I can do a permanent bond by immediately applying the materials together. I don't know how much better this is going to be than a regular glue stick. We'll see. I'll kind of I'll do a bit of stress testing. I mean, it's not like these are going to be getting pulled on. It's more of a, they're just going to be handled. So I don't want them falling off, obviously. But I don't want to use super glue because that's going to discolor the plastic. And I don't think there's enough space for me to use like double-sided tape. I don't think I would use double-sided tape for this anyway. But I'm going to give this a try and see where we end up. Alright, so the dial was off a bit, and now I've got it just about where it should be. Use that adjustment on the tuning capacitor. I'm going to clean up the potentiometers. The tone and volume are actually pretty good, but the balance is very stiff and doesn't really do a whole lot of balancing until you get over to one side. It's not super consistent. So I'm going to clean those up with some contact cleaner. I will also do the same to the switch just because I have it open. Why not? Alright, here it is all cleaned up. I'd say it came out pretty well. I ended up using a different glue on the knobs. I used a PVA glue. And actually they're still drying, but I just wanted to put it together so I could get a recording of it and finish up this video. So again, this is not a perfect one. I think somebody used wood glue or something to put this bezel back in, like I said before, and it just left some like scuzz behind there, but I was able to scrape off a lot of the excess with a toothpick, and I mean, I think it came out pretty good. I polished up the acrylic here with Novus. I did the same for this because it had some scratches on it, because that actually is an acrylic there as well. When you get up close, you can see very faint remnants of the scratches that were there, but I mean, especially when you have the dial there now, really don't see it. Anyway, I'll do a little demo. First we'll do radio. Cleaned up the antenna too. Just made it shiny. The AM.
This is the flagship station of the Jaguars. JXL AM chat. Everywhere you go, this.
There's FM. FM stereo. Something kind of interesting about this is that the plastic for the FM stereo light is almost a purplish color, even though the LED is red. So I don't know if it's faded over time or if that was intentional to begin with. Another very strange thing about this is all my other portable 8-track players have the cartridge slot on the right-hand side, but this one's on the left, so I find that quite interesting. I adjusted the switch a little bit so you don't have to push in quite as hard. And you can push from either side now, and it still actuate the little lever in there. It's really not, I mean, it is a switch, but it's really just a chunk of metal that pushes into another chunk of metal, as a lot of these were like that. That's just kind of how they built them. I quite like that this one has a spot for the power cord. My Panasonics do not have that, so that's a nice feature. And this one sounds quite good too. I believe it has 4-inch speakers, and it is heavy. It's heavier than my other ones too. So I'm curious as to if the power output's a little higher. I would imagine it is. It takes 8 D-cell batteries. I cleaned up battery compartment a bit too. Cleaned up these contacts. That is all for now. Thank you for watching.